everybody and welcome back to the channel. I hope you're all doing really well, and today we've got a pretty exciting video coming up. Now actually this has come about as a sort of rare opportunity because the weather is normally abysmal in the UK at this time of year. It's now the very end of October as I'm filming this, and in fact yesterday I filmed a video with the Z4 and the weather was exactly that, abysmal. So today I was going to be filming a video sort of walking around the spec of the M240i, because that's something I haven't actually really done. However, the sun was out today, so I thought it'd be rude really not to go for a proper drive and have a bit of fun with the car. So what I want to do today then is take the car out. We'll have to move the Z4 first, take this out to some nicer roads out of the London area, and really sort of start to explore what the M240i is really like to drive. I genuinely, well, I've had this car almost a month now and haven't I don't think I've actually gone out in the car for a drive and nothing else. So yeah, that's what we're going to do today. Take it out, find some nice sort of country roads, 20 minutes or so from me, and see what this BMW M240i is really like to drive. First, better get this one out of the way. Here we go. Gosh, it's been about, oh brilliant, instantly greeted with the fuel reserve light. Let's start it up. It's been about 4 days. All good. Well, so I guess you've got to go find a fuel station and then we can find some nice roads. But anyway, I'll catch up with you guys once we're on those nice roads. Well everyone, we're now off the motorway and we've found some much better roads. However, sod's law, as you can probably see, it looks like it's going to rain now. I left London perfectly sunny, it was even quite warm actually, and now it looks like it's going to tip it down. But before the roads inevitably get wet, let's just try and drive this car a little bit. So roads are good here. First thing obviously I'm going to do, I've been in drive in Eco Sport, or Eco Pro should I say. I'm going to flick it into Sports Plus, which gives us, in my car actually, with the adaptive suspension, a slightly firmer ride, which I can feel now, a much punchier throttle response, which you feel also instantaneously, along with a slightly heavier steering feel, quite a lot heavier actually, which works. Also with Sports Plus, it disables stage 1 of the traction control system, so it allows you to have a fair bit of slip, but not all of it. It literally is about to absolutely wet itself. Last thing to do then, manual, hit a paddle, we've got control. Watch this, okay? Let's go to second gear, 30 miles per hour, 60. It is just ridiculously fast, and it's the torque. No matter what rev range you're at, it will just pick up. And it actually, first sort of point of driving this car, it sort of takes a little bit away from the thrill of this engine. Now, don't get me wrong, it's a fantastic engine, but the fact that you're sort of not really encouraged to rev it out takes away from it a little bit. I like a car where you really have to wring out the revs to get the most of the power, whereas the peak power in this car feels like it's really down low. So short shifting there, 4,000 RPM, 4,000 RPM. And I don't feel like it's any slower shifting early like that than if I was to really bring out the revs. I cannot believe this. You guys wouldn't believe your eyes if you saw this. I swear to you, honestly, a minute ago, it was sunny. And now it's hailing. It's hailing. This is really not the weather for 340 brake horsepower to the rear wheels in a pretty light car. Okay, if you can hear me while we're in this predicament, let me pop it into comfort and across into drive. So with comfort I have it configured so that I have the softer suspension setting. The steering is lighter now. Throttle response is more gentle, and actually this car makes for a fantastic cruiser. It really just glides along the road. The ride quality is actually firmer than you might expect, even with the softer suspension mode. It is actually still quite a firm ride, although in comparison to what I'm used to, it's very soft. And also, this being on 19-inch Bowler aftermarket wheels, obviously aren't going to help the ride quality either. And also, if you have been paying attention to my content, you'll see that I recently had the Motec Stance Plus kit fitted to this car, which I think is 25mm and 30mm lowering springs, and then 12mm spacers all round on my car. So in terms of the ride quality, I've definitely worsened it, and actually out of the box it's going to be better than what I'm likening it to. So back into sport. I'll leave it out of Sports Plus so we've got all of our traction. Third gear, give it a pull, back in manual. The way it picks up is something else. Moving on to sort of another sort of disappointing thing for me, out of the box with this car, is the sound. I mean, it really is just, I mean, disappointing isn't the word, it's the way cars are these days, unfortunately, and especially turbo cars are never going to really sound as good as something that's naturally aspirated. But, you know, even here, if I go second gear and all the way through, there's barely any sound. I really have to listen for it. And if there was any other sort of noise or music going on, you just can't hear it at all. In fact, I can't really hear the exhaust whatsoever. I can just hear sort of the induction sound coming through. And that's a shame, because actually, when you stand outside of this car, as I often do when I'm filming videos, and you hear it go past, it sounds actually really rather good. So it's just a shame that that's not really transpired into the cabin, or translated into the cabin. So definitely the sound is something I'm going to fix, and I'm going to get an exhaust for this car so it does sound a lot better, and so can I enjoy it a lot more. But for me, a big part of the driving experience is the sound. In terms of how this car feels to drive, well, you know, one, it's really hard to push this car to its limit on public roads because it just is so capable, and that is testament to it in one thing. In terms of the steering feel, it's surprisingly good. Actually having the Motec spacers and lowering springs in particular fitted, instantly, that was what I noticed after that modification, was the steering. So before, although the steering has a good feel to it for an electronic rack and is very responsive to your input, you couldn't really feel the wheels. However, now that I've had those lowering springs on, I can actually feel the wheels through the steering wheel, which is really nice. And I'm going to stop doing that now because I'm about to throw up. But it actually has made quite a big difference, and I can now feel what the front end of the car is doing at all times, which is great actually, and that's really improved the car. The fact it's gluing to the road is crazy. Now, with the acceleration, one other minor negative I'd say is the throttle response. Obviously it's a turbo car, so it's never going to be amazing, and although you do get a pretty instantaneous response from your right foot inputs, there is just a little bit of turbo lag, especially when you're at those lower RPMs. And I actually find when you're sort of out of manual and just driving this car normally, that's where it's actually a little bit worse. You sort of give a little bit of throttle and you want some power, but you have to wait a couple of seconds. But if you flick it into manual and you use the revs, that problem's pretty much gone and it's fixed. So you can definitely get around that. I mean, performance we've spoken about, and there's not really anything that needs to be said about that. It's incredibly fast, and what I'm finding out today is it's amazing at putting down the power. The traction control system is intrusive, but it's well judged, and actually I think this car, obviously being on Michelin Pilot Sport 4S tyres, certainly helps the traction situation as well, and grip wise as well. You know, I'm going around these corners at speeds that I'd probably go around in the dry, and it's just sticking without any hesitation whatsoever. The other thing that definitely deserves credit with this car, and is praised amongst everyone that drives and owns these things, and even journalists, is the ZF 8-speed gearbox. It's likened to a DCT in the sense that it shifts super fast, but it's obviously done differently with a sort of more traditional torque converter style of gear shift. And actually that brings you one benefit, which is that when you're sort of just driving this car gently and pootling along, mainly sort of launches from or stop starts from junctions and stuff, this is actually a bit smoother than what you might find in a DCT from experience. It's just an amazing gearbox. You get the benefit of that, of course, of it being very smooth, but the gear shifts are still super fast. It's witchcraft really, the way it does it, to the point where when you are just sort of cruising, as I was on the way down here, you don't really notice the gearbox at all. Might as well be a Koenigsegg Regera with just that one big gear, because you just don't notice it changing whatsoever, which is great. But also then when I've got it in sports and I start flooring it, you do get a big punch in the back of your seat to let you know that you are indeed going through the gears, and at some rate as well. What I will say that lots of people don't say, and perhaps that's because of their experience of driving other cars or just their personal preference, is that for me personally, where this car really lets itself down is in the drama. I mean, imagine, take yourself back 15 years ago and you got in a E46 M3. You switch the engine on and you feel something. You feel the vibrations, you hear the sort of fizzy noise going on. There was just a feeling that goes along with the car. With this thing, it's almost so clinical and so good that there just isn't that sort of tremble with it. And that is testament to how fantastic the technology in this car is. But I would say it's a driver's car, but it's not built for a driver, if you see what I mean. If you're someone that wants to just get in the car and be at one with it, and basically just the car leaves you to do all the work, this is not the car. Certainly not out of the box anyway. It's too good. It really is. It's just too capable out of the box. I mean, just the fact that back then I could plant it and the traction controls are on. I've literally got my foot down, I'm going through the gears, I'm driving over undulating, slippery roads, and the car's just keeping me in a straight line. That's not me doing any work. That's no testament to my driving ability. And I think that's a shame a little bit from a performance BMW. I want something that's, you know, it needs a good driver behind the wheel. I would say this doesn't necessarily need a good driver behind the wheel. So look, on one hand, depending on which side of the swing you're sitting on, this is perfect, because if you want to just get in a car and drive stupidly fast, impress your friends with the performance or whatever it is, without any real driving ability, this is just fantastic. And actually, most modern cars really are going this way now. But look, it's so wet, I'm flooring it, I've got one hand on the wheel. Effortlessly got up to 60 miles an hour there. And that really, I mean, if I did that in my Z4, obviously I'd be changing gears as well. We'd be over there in that ditch somewhere. So that's the only thing I will say is the truth about driving one of these cars is it gets a lot of credit, these cars, because they're so incredibly good. But it does just miss a slight bit of character. It really does. And depending, like I say, on which side of the spectrum you sit on with your driving. For me, as a driver that loves to just be in control and manipulate everything that I'm doing with the car, this does just lack a slight bit of character and a slight bit of feel. So anyway guys, I hope you've sort of found this video interesting. That's sort of my, I mean really, to be honest with you, I was planning on spending a little bit more time thinking about this video and really getting to grips with the car at some sort of more significant speeds as well. But genuinely, you saw it on camera, that rain just came down out of nowhere as soon as I pressed record. And well, funnily enough, it looks like it's about to stop just as I press stop. But what can you do? These things happen. But that's sort of, I really have just sort of spit out of my brain there as to what comes to mind with the way this car feels on the road in those wet conditions. So I hope you found it interesting. That's the truth in my eyes. The car is just so good, but it does just lack a little bit of drama, whether that's the noise, the feel through the wheel at some occasions, and just the way it does everything so well. It lacks some drama in my opinion. Hope you found the video interesting, and fingers crossed for me, next time I film with this car, it's not absolutely wetting it down. Anyway, thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you guys very soon.